against the will of the American people. Are you aware of any of that?
I haven't seen him using any kind of threats of violence against Mike
Excuse
Pence.
me.
So could
I'm
you,
sorry. Excuse me. I didn't say anything about a threat of violence. I don't know who you're talking to or what you're responding to. I just asked you very specifically for the thing that I just laid out. Are you aware of any of that? Do you know any of that?
I believe you said something about violence.
Okay. Let me restate. Okay.
Okay.
Donald
All right.
Trump organized 7 different sets of people, okay, in 7 different states to send in fake votes, okay, to Congress essentially in order to pressure Mike Pence, okay. First it was
Okay,
words.
pressure Mike Pence. Okay.
Well, first
Pressure.
it was with
Okay.
words. He begged him to do it behind the scenes multiple times, and Pence said no because he's not a traitor to the country. And then the second time is he called his crowd of people that he gathered on the 6th and then sent them to the Capitol grounds to protest with the goal of getting Pence to choose the fake electorate votes that he sent in to Congress. Are you aware of any of that?
What is the evidence for that, though?
It's laid out in the indictments, and nobody denies any of it. If you want, you can go to YouTube, and if you want, I'll wait 5 minutes right now for you. You can go on YouTube, and you could go, false electorates try to enter Capitol. And there are videos that will pop up. The first one says, Republicans try to deliver their own electoral votes to Michigan Capitol. There are people that are being charged in multiple states right now for perjuring themselves, saying that they were the duly elected, appointed representatives of their state to cast their electorate vote. Nobody denies this. Nobody denies this. Okay? So you're not aware of any of this.
I haven't heard of that story, no.
That's another way of saying you're not aware of any of this. So, okay, so step 1, okay, let's assume that what I just said is true because nobody's denying it, and Trump's defense against this is to ask for criminal immunity. You're aware of that, right? That Donald Trump's way of defending himself was to go before the Supreme Court and say, I need to be immune from criminal prosecution. Are you aware of that?
Well, I wasn't following it that closely, so no.
Okay, well, are you aware that Donald Trump, his attorney, went before the Supreme Court and was granted criminal immunity for the first time in all of U.S. history for an ex-president, that now the office of the presidency enjoys absolute criminal immunity and presumptive criminal immunity for basically every action a president can take? Are you aware of that?
No, I'm not aware of that.
Okay. How many videos have you seen of Joe Biden stumbling down some stairs or having slurs or forgetting words in his speech?
Well, they are floating around. I've seen some of those.
Yep. Do you understand that this is a problem? That you have absolutely no idea what's going on in my country, what's going on in my... Let me finish, please, and then you can go. You talk as long as you want.
Sure.
You don't know what's happened in my country. You don't know what's happened with my government. You don't know any of the things that Donald Trump has been involved in. But I bet if I go through your Twitter, I can find 50 million videos of Joe Biden with his stupid open mouth or slurring some word. Do you think that's an issue?
Well, I think the president being fit is an issue. Yeah, for sure.
What about being an insurrectionist?
I don't believe he's an insurrectionist.
Oh, what did I just lay out then that either doesn't qualify for insurrection or isn't true from what I just said? Or if you want, you can admit that you have no idea what I'm talking about and you need to go back to the drawing board before even beginning to have an opinion on this topic.
Well, I can have an opinion because free speech exists, so I can say what I want to say.
First of all, no. Number one, no. You're a Canadian. You have no guarantee of free speech. Number two, that's obviously not what I meant. You obviously are entitled to an opinion. I'm saying that it was a shorthand for to have a well-formed opinion that merits consideration. Right? If you're not even aware of any of the major events happening in this country, I don't know how you can have a strong opinion on whether or not Donald Trump is an insurrectionist or not.
Well, I see what the media says about the current events, and I see the media pushing and saying things like, to serve his country, President Biden should drone strike Donald Trump. And to me, that seems like not very appropriate thing to say for as an advice for the current sitting president. And that doesn't seem like a strong uphold of democracy or decency, as they would say, because they said decency was on the ballot.
If Rachel Maddow told you that walking on sidewalks was dangerous, would you walk in the street?
No.
Then why are you citing me something that the media said and then giving me your 4-year... Do you have children? Do you react to everything like a child? If the media says something you don't like it, do you just take the opposite position without giving a single original thought yourself into what you're actually being told? Or is your entire ideology defined by reactionism?
No, I'm not ideologically possessed. I agree with certain things that sometimes the liberals say, and I can disagree with certain things that conservatives do.
Okay.
It's not...
That's fine.
Not like... Yeah, it's not like I watch, state Canadian media and take the opposite stance of everything they say, because twice a day a broken clock is right. So
Cool.
it's not an
Okay.
issue
So then
for me.
I think we can, going back to the insurrection thing, if every part of what I laid out was true, if Donald Trump slated false electors in states, had that sent to Congress, and knowingly gathered a crowd of 50,000 whatever people, and then sent them to the Capitol building in the hopes that they would protest to pressure the fake electors being chosen, do you think any of that qualifies as an insurrection?
Would I have to be an expert in insurrection law to state that one way or another?
But you don't have to be you don't have to be an expert in insurrection law to say confidently that it wasn't.
Well, perhaps you're right about that, but like I said, I refer to his actual words that he put out on social media and on video, saying that he's requesting for peace.
You understand
And
that came after he was begged for hours while he and his crony, corrupt Giuliani made phone calls to sitting congressmen inside of the locked down building, right? That he was calling them, pressuring them to delay the certification of the vote. It was hours after that he finally went on Twitter when the insurrection had failed and said, okay, guys, we need to go home.
Well, like I said, I wasn't following it 24/7.
Then why do you have an opinion on it? You weren't following 24/7. You were following it 0-0. You have no idea what happened on any of this. Why do you think you should have an opinion on any of this?
Well, I told you I can have an opinion if I want.
You can, but then people should make fun of you and bully the f out of you for it, right? You've literally no idea about any of this. It wasn't that what our original tweet was over? Is that I think I called you didn't I call you a hack? It seems like I was correct, right? You have absolutely no idea about literally any of these issues.
Yes. Okay. Maybe I haven't followed the case as closely as you have.
Hold on, not closely. You don't even have any idea. You have no concept. You don't know anything about what I'm talking. You don't even know what an electoral vote is, do you?
Of course I do. Of course I do. It's what the United States has for their electoral process. We have a similar process here in Canada. It's not majority vote. It's not democracy. It's a constitutional republic.
Okay, if you know what an electoral vote is, do you think it's acceptable for people to try to fake them? Like Donald Trump did in 7 different states?
Well, like I said, what is the evidence that he faked those? What is your evidence for that?
What would you want to see? What if I could show you, hypothetically, 7 different certifications filled out with false electors? I can send you a YouTube video of these people literally gathering outside in Michigan in the courthouse. Hold on, here's a YouTube video for that. I can go on Obsidian and I can find you the if anybody has a quick link to the they have photographs of all of the of all the fake things that they filled out, pretending that they
also have photographs and video of people, stuffing ballots and bringing out bags and security footage from places where people are voting, and they were putting up tarps over the windows. And
are you aware? Are you aware that every single one of those was investigated, and that every single one of those was heard before a court? And that every single one of these, except for one, was shot down, a lot of them by conservative judges that Trump himself, or at least his administration, appointed?
Well, like I said, I wasn't following this case 24/7, so no, I wasn't following the procedures that came out of that.
Okay, but you've seen pictures of it, right? Are you embarrassed or ashamed that you've had strong opinions about this because of pictures that you've seen, because of Elon Musk feeding you lies on Twitter?
Dustin, you don't have to be that rude. I'm being really respectful.
Hold on, no, wait. Hold on. I need you to understand something so much, okay? You're not being respectful. You're actually evil, okay? This idea that you can walk around and as long as, that's great, I don't care. The idea that you can walk around and as long as you say the worst type of shit imaginable in a nice enough voice, that you should be treated with respect is absurd, right? In no other function in life would anybody ever be treated that way. You have no concept of anything related to the insurrection. You have no concept of what's even happened aside from what you've seen, I guess, on Twitter and the media, but you're out here tweeting along with every other insurrectionist supporting in my country about how Donald Trump is treated unfairly in the media and Joe Biden isn't fit to be president. You have no idea what you're talking about for any of this, though.
Hey, do you think it's okay for Joe Biden voters to, make a life-sized version of Trump and put a fake guillotine over him, or to hold up bloody severed heads of him and things like that? Do you think that contributes to anything that's happening in the States?
Nope. I think that to the first question, I would say no, that's not acceptable. We're